What I really want to look at is the way all the mosses, all the plants, and how all the different structures support the water as well as the stonework, so we can really create an incredibly unique feature for Epic Gardening. Now all we have to do, move dirt, build waterfalls, install a beautiful pond, hook up the rest of the plumbing and pumping system, as well as the irrigation system that's going to operate this incredible property. This is going to be an awesome project. Looking forward to this one. Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. I am in beautiful Southern California, getting some inspiration like I always do. Always looking for those really cool riparian habitats, those canyons, looking at the incredible natural rock formations, as well as where the water meets all that stone, because that's where life happens. It's exactly what we're trying to do for Kevin at Epic Gardening. We're trying to replicate that type of a feel. Southern California, that Mediterranean type of a climate. There's always a little bit of water somewhere. This is a natural spring. It flows 365 days a year. We're gonna replicate that type of a concept, as well as tie it into a rainwater capture system. So if you remember with a rainwater system, during heavy rains, stuff like this is gonna be a torrent. It's gonna be flowing much, much heavier, but during that low rain period, it's gonna go down to that trickle. What I really wanna look at is the way all the mosses, all the plants, and how all the different structures support the water as well as the stonework, so we can really create an incredibly unique feature for Epic Gardening. So this is the stuff I love. Right along these water edges, water meets this bedrock, but you're still gonna get a little bit of plant growth just tucked into those areas. And it's the backwater sections where the sediments could actually kind of accumulate. Over here, this is all bedrock, but then you get back over in these areas where you get a little bit of sedimentation. Then all of a sudden you start getting a little bit of that green growth, and that is gonna be here year round, as well as some algal growth. Remember, this is some really important stuff. I love when algae actually shows up inside of our features, because it's an important part of the ecosystem. We just want to control it so it doesn't get out of control. And look at that little plunge pool. This is several feet deeper than right here, and that's because of the action of all of that water that it's just been going for who knows how long. The water's just been trickling there and eroding and carving away into the bedrock.
So for the pond, we have gone with a pretty unique solution, I would say. Most people think you just fill a pond with water and that's it. But we have these things called aqua blocks, and you can see they're packaged here. They come really, really flat. You invented them, so why don't you share a little bit about them?
Yeah, so what we have here, so these are, it's a modular system made out of recycled polypropylene. They come in these individual panels. The nice thing about it, instead of shipping like big containers to store water, they come in these little flat pieces. Very, very sustainable. We can put a lot of them on a truck.
Yep.
We're also using local labor when we get to a job site, and we can put them together. So we can ship these all over the world.
Yeah. You're not shipping air.
No,
really.
We're not shipping air, exactly. So we have the individual panels. They kind of go into these little slots, and they can be put together and put into these different cubes. They're built directly on site, but the way these things are designed is they work under compression.
Yeah.
So once we bury them, put them underground, we start backfilling it, it increases the load bearing capacity. So literally, I have these things underneath parking lots where they're driving semi trucks over the top of them. But if I wanted to break this in half, I could. Yeah. It's plastic. I mean, it's very, very light. I mean,
it's like a recycled plastic material.
Recycled plastic material, but it's all in the design. We're going to have this in the bottom of your patio, right, underneath everything. There's going to be a pump down at the bottom. The water's going to come through the gravel, and it has to make its way through all these different blocks. See these like little fins and everything? They're kind of three-dimensional. They have panels.
There's a ridge.
There's
in
a
the middle
ridge
of them,
inside of it. So what happens is, as the water's going through, it creates turbulence. It's that turbulence action allows a sedimentation process to occur. This will also become colonized with bacteria and microorganisms, which increases biological life and everything that we can have in them. It gives us really, really good water quality.
Yeah, what's cool too is, I mean, there's 100 of these stacked double tall in a place that eventually will be like a grill and chill area in my yard.
Exactly.
You won't even know it's there, and the babbling brook will sort of fall into nothingness almost, but there's 3,000 gallons underneath.
And I think that brings up a really interesting point. I know you have a big tank over and back, and those are really, really popular. I've seen them all over the world. You know, traveling the world, you're going to see these big above ground tanks. They work very, very well. The challenge, Southern California, Africa, places like that, the water gets really hot inside of those above ground tanks because it's baking in the sun all day long. When you have warm water, holds less dissolved oxygen, and it kind of produces more anaerobic bacterial life inside of it. Putting it underground keeps it cool, keeps it in the dark, gives us much better water quality, but it also saves that space. Where you live, this is like the most expensive property on the planet, right? Southern California?
It's up there.
I mean, per square foot.
Yeah.
So if you have a tank that's taking up that space, it's literally your ground is gone. You can't do anything else. With this, like you said, you have a patio on top of it. So now it's a usable space.
Might as well have not been there.
Exactly.
I'm at 8,500 pounds of brake strength, and I'm down in here where I've got the strongest amount of articulation of the arm, and we're just scratching the surface. I honestly think we'd be a lot faster doubling the footprint as opposed to going down another foot, because this topsoil has been a breeze. It's easy to work with. This stuff down here it's packed. This is California gold.
Couldn't finish the excavation last night. It got a little too dark, so we kind of broke away, hitting it again here this morning, just kind of opening things up, cleaning up some of these edges where it was a little slanted in. We have moved the aqua blocks into position. Now basically we're going to spend the next hour or two building some of these aqua blocks. We have 48 double stack configurations that are going to go in the excavation. We have to prepare everything for our fabric liner and all that stuff, which Carl will take care of. I'll start jumping on these aqua blocks, and hopefully in the next couple hours we will be ready to start installing the aqua blocks. And then we have a delivery of crushed stone waiting on that as well. Sarah set that up for us, so I think everything is in good condition and position for us to have everything done here today.
Okay, we've put down the felt, the rubber, and the felt once again.
Yep.
And I guess we should probably explain what this is doing here.
So this, kind of sticking out in the middle of nowhere, this is our pump valve.
Yep.
So this is going to house a submersible pump, which will go all the way down at the bottom. Remember, we excavated that section a little deeper to recess the area to allow more water to feed the pump. And that's because the pump sucks the water in from 4 to 6 inches off the floor.
Yeah.
So if we were just to place it where we're standing, we would leave 6 inches of water on the entire
The whole
bottom.
thing,
So it's basically lost.
So maybe then it makes sense to explain how this actually works, because I didn't get it when I first saw it.
Yep.
These just basically create a void space
Correct.
for water to exist within. You're not really making a tank per se.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is a structural void space that allows us to put it together in different configurations.
Yep.
Porous on the top, porous on the sides, so that allows for good water infiltration around it. But the rubber lining and all that stuff around it holds the water in
That's the
place.
real sort of
Correct.
edge of the whole thing. So now it's just aligning these, right?
Exactly. We're going to put them all into the configuration that we laid out initially. We'll cover it up with all of that crushed stone,
Yeah.
and then we're ready for a patio, and then we could figure out the pond, the waterfall, and all that other
The
stuff.
actual above ground surface stuff,
That
yeah.
everybody's going to see,
Yeah, yeah.
actually. This stuff, no one knows it's even here.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and start laying them out
Do
then.
it. Kevin is out in front talking with the paver guy, who is Sarah's connection with all the pavers that are going to be going in for all the different walkways. This is going to be natural flagstone. This always seems to be the typical scenario, rushing through everything, but we do have a flight to catch. We will be back in a couple weeks to wrap everything up. The main infrastructure is in, which is what we needed to get done, because we didn't want to hold up anybody else here on the project. So now that that's in place, I'm in a lot better position. Now all we have to do, move dirt, build waterfalls, install a beautiful pond, hook up the rest of the plumbing and pumping system, as well as the irrigation system that's going to operate this incredible property. This is going to be an awesome project. Looking forward to this one.